My name's Dr. Paul Brewerton, the Strengths Guy, Doctor of Psychology and Chair and Founder of Strengthscope. I podcast each week just as you're getting your head back into work mode to give you a positive, strengths-based boost into your week ahead. My podcasts are packed full of tips and tools to help you get the best out of your working week. I hope you enjoy this week's podcast. How can I be more resilient? Is one of the questions we are most often asked at Strengthscope. We've spent years in research and practice to discover the simplest and most effective ways to answer that question. And in today's podcast, I'm going to share with you the model that we've arrived at and the methodology that we've taught through our training courses for quite a few years now. It's a 5-step model, but building habits in any one of these areas will make a difference to your overall resilience. The more habits you add, the more resilient you'll become. At the end of the podcast, I'll let you into a little known secret that we've been hiding away on our website for a while that will give you access to much more of our thinking and tools on resilience and how to develop it. But for now, let's go through the basic steps, which are taking charge, mastering mindset, optimizing strengths and energy, building support, and embracing challenge. First of all, taking charge. This step is about recognizing the role that stress plays in resilience and ultimately how you can reduce your experienced stress in unpredictable situations by controlling what you can control. During stressful times, or those situations that you perceive to be stressful, information you get through your senses is only processed in the part of your brain focused on survival, so you go into fight or flight or freeze. When you're not stressed, you don't need that survival response, and in those situations, information can travel into the parts of the brain that provide higher functions like problem solving and decision making. So the question is, how can you reduce your perceived stress to help keep your brain functioning optimally? Stress happens when the demands of the situation exceed your perceived ability to deal with them. The more you perceive you can control, the less stressed you feel. Stress isn't an external phenomenon, it's how you respond to your circumstances. And if you can identify what you can control, your stress reduces. So step 1, work out what causes you stress, and then consider how you can realistically take more active control of that situation. For example, through preparation, or breathing, or reframing. I've got more on taking control at Season 7, Episode 4, Managing Stress and Change, Controlling the Controllables. Step 2 of building resilience relates to mastering your mindset and knowing that you have choices in the way that you perceive uncertain, unwanted, or stressful situations. At Strengthscope, we've developed a handy model to show you what we mean, which I talked about at Season 7, Episode 5, Mastering Your Mindset in Tough Times, The Path of Possibility. For now, all I want to say is that accessing positive emotions when you're not feeling it has a net positive effect on your brain and can help buffer you from stress and panic by kicking off a positive emotional chain reaction, which can give you a sense of hope, where you can see the potential to move through a tough situation rather than feeling stuck and helpless. So when you are feeling stuck on a path of negative thinking, ask yourself, when have I dealt with something similar before and it worked out okay? Or what can I do now to get a different perspective on this thing I'm sitting with? Just allowing yourself to be curious in a stuck, stressed moment will up the chances that you can move into a more positive frame of mind. The third step in building resilience is to optimize your strengths and energy. For today, let's go to strengths, those qualities that energize you and that you're great at or have the potential to become great at. Now imagine a tough situation you're facing at work or at home and the choices you can make in that situation so that it feels less threatening and more in your control. If you choose to take your strengths into that situation and use them in a way which is more likely to lead to a positive outcome, de facto, you'll be covering off steps 1 and 2 of our model. You'll be taking charge and you'll be taking in a more positive mindset to the situation. Here's an example. I might have a big presentation that I'm going to do at work, which is causing me some stress. So rather than getting stuck worrying about how I might not be able to answer questions, or that I lose the audience, or I forget my point, I could bring my strengths into the situation. My collaboration or relationship building could help me reach out to a prep buddy who could give me some honest feedback during a run-through, or help me organise my thoughts before I even start my first draft. My efficiency or results focus could help me break down my prep into a plan so that I get the presentation done before time, giving me confidence that it will go well. My empathy can help me think about my audience and what they might need or want to hear, and so on. Each of these choices about bringing in a strength or strengths will build my confidence, ease my stress, and increase the chances of the presentation going well. There is more to step 3 than just strengths. There's also energy, but that's for another time. Your next step, step 4, and I've hinted at it just now, is to build support. Having social support acts as a protective factor during stressful times. And I mean that at the neurobiological level. When you feel that you have strong social support, it's been shown to reduce stress-related illnesses, increase self-confidence, improve problem solving, and release the social bonding hormone oxytocin, which can reduce your fear and anxiety and improve your mood. And practically speaking, the stronger your bonds with your social network, the greater your resilience will become. So, working on your relationships, deepening the connections that you have with those around you already, is 100% guaranteed to build your resilience. I talk more on the how of this at Season 8, Episode 10, Supercharge Your Wellbeing, How to Connect Well. Our 5th step is to embrace challenge and to keep growing and developing. To keep working on your skills to increase your ability to adapt and flex when things get choppy or uncertain. One of the best ways of doing this is to develop a growth mindset. That helps you to move away from a win-lose analysis of a situation where you may be anxious about failing or a negative outcome, and focuses you more on the process of learning and development, where there's always a positive to be found. It moves you away from thinking about trying to be perfect and towards a focus on progress. I talk more about that at Season 9, Episode 10, What's a Growth Mindset and How Can You Develop One? But for now, in any given situation you experience, just try and take from it the learning, just those nudges towards improvement that you might have experienced in that situation, and focus on those. So that's my super quick guide to developing resilience. Take charge, master your mindset, optimize your strengths and energy, build support, and embrace challenge. At the start of the podcast, I said that there'd be a place for you to go to get more on all of this. Well, there is more. If you go to strengthscope.com and look for our online resilience course, you'll find a link to a course which gives you much more depth on each of the 5 steps, plus access to Strengthscope, our strengths assessment tool. And if you've done Strengthscope already, as many people have, there's a button to press which will take you to our team and they can sort things out for you. If you found today's podcast useful, and I hope you did, do please share it with people in your network. Do like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for more on how you can keep on thriving in the digital era. Till next time, stay strong.